Welcome, welcome to the ladies' room, where real men talk and truth go boom. Good morning, good morning. If your man acting up or your woman losing she mind, right we don't hide till we inside, 'cause the ladies' room go set it right. Welcome, welcome to the ladies' room, where real men talk and truth go boom. Good morning, good morning. If your man acting up or your woman losing she mind, right we don't hide till we inside, 'cause the ladies' room go set it right.
Money for better.
Good morning again, everybody, and welcome back to the ladies' room. We do this every morning, 11 a.m., and of course, this morning is no exception. It is a wonderful day on the rock. Shout outs to everybody celebrating life today, or you're celebrating a birthday. Whatever, life is definitely lifing. So any opportunity we get to, celebrate, the small wins, we have to do that. We can't just wait until the big things come along. I mean, if we're not celebrating the small ones, what happens when the big one come along? What do? So we are here to celebrate the small wins. Every little thing counts. They say every mickle make a muckle. So that's what we're doing, celebrating each day as it comes. It is a beautiful day on the rock. Those of you talking about it being cold elsewhere, we cannot relate. I'm sorry, because I'm wearing flip-flops and look, t-shirt with holes. So that means it is hot. Another hot day in the beautiful island of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. We got cruise ship in port, so visitors are here. Good morning to you if you're viewing from Facebook, if you're viewing from YouTube or TikTok. Some Ruth Simple Soap says 26 minus 26 in Toronto. I don't know what that feels like. Sonia Raymond Nelson, thank you so very much for taking control of my TikTok and, sharing and getting folks to come on and be part of our conversation. To all the returning folks, welcome. Those of you who've been here before, thank you so very much for tuning in, where we have open, honest conversations, dialogue on, social issues, relationships, etc., interviews, etc. That is what we do here on Power 95. So if you're just joining us, it is my pleasure to have you on board. We also have to say a special thank you to our kind partners for making the room possible. St. Augustine Medical Services, Land Store, Western Union, and Beacon Insurance. Thank you so much for powering up again. That is that. To the radio listeners, 95.1, 95.3, and of those of you listening via the Power app, good morning, and thank you so much for choosing us. All right, Maya, good morning. Yeah, on my folks over there in TikTok, good morning. My Facebook and YouTube combined. Carol Belfon been here since 10:32 a.m. Shante, good morning, and thank you for sharing. Good morning, Don, and please, guys, do me a favor. Wherever you're streaming or viewing from, not streaming, but viewing from, please share so other folks will get the opportunity to, be part of our, conversation. And, you guys usually discuss amongst yourselves in the chat. So please, please, please do me a favor and share the live. All right. So good morning to everybody in the chat. Good morning, Riggy. Yeah, Riggy, I realize you're putting in the work. The music is already, coming out hard and fast. So big up yourself, Riggy. Shows that you're serious about your craft, and I love that for you. Morning, Shireen, Marianne, Cam Simeon. Good morning. Vanessa St. John. Good morning. Who else is here? Trisha Franklin. Good morning. Also, good morning. Where's Gabriella these days? Boy, money first, right? Unison Joseph, Nikisha Allen, Precious Joel, Hazel Bascom, Nissy, good morning, in Belleville, Ontario, Terrace Millet, Valerie Ross, all my peeps in Toronto, good morning, Lindy Phillip, Rachel Boateng, Jackie Douglas Adams, are they in New York City? Good morning. Also want to say special morning to Alana Bosen. Good morning, Sensi Alicia Smart. Queen Bee, good morning. Maria Calise, all the folks in Montreal as well. Good morning, Sue. Well, what a difference 24 hours make, right? From walking around in flip-flops, I'm sure you bundled up this morning. This life is not balanced at all. But anyways, it was awesome seeing you. Can't wait to reconnect again. Good morning, Janelle. Hey, Clarina. Good morning. Yvette James. Good morning, Lisa. Darren Oxford. Alana Noel. Good morning. Naya. I wish Canada would close their door. Why is Canada always so cold? Even in summer, they complain about it being cold. So the folks in Canada, the folks in the US are saying, please shut your door because all the coldness is coming down their way or up their way or whatever the case might be. So everybody there, close your door. Cyan, good morning. Yeah, the Canada is always cold. Hey, good morning, Marvelyn Thomas. Good morning, Josh Bowen. Daisy Andrews, Shauna Henry, Avian, Elimus Gilbert. Of course, it's your topic, so I want you to chime in. I'm not going to stick this morning because this topic today is heavy, right? And I'm going to break it down for you guys first, and then we will discuss and unpack what is going on in this situation. And for those of you asking if it's Grenada, yes, it's Grenada. Why you all think people in Grenada are prudes and people don't have coitus, we don't fornicate, we don't have sex? Y'all be acting as though people are just here shutting off the lights and just, missionary, just me and you. Hey, there are some people doing a lot of ish out here, right? There's a lot of stuff going on. So I don't know why people always act so surprised and be like, Christian society or not. People been doing the do and doing the most from since King Hatchet was a hammer. So for those of you always on this, oh, that's not Grenada, and thinking that people having other people in the relationships, it's foreign to us or it's not gonna happen here. Why y'all think, hey Glaze, fine girl, Northern Ireland, good morning, well afternoon, I'm sure it's on your end right now. Yeah, y'all always acting surprised. Like, what is that to be surprised about? We're in 2026. We no longer get, oh, you fell from a tree or you came from a coconut. None of that. People are doing the most in their bedroom these days. People are looking for different, vices and whatever freaky stuff y'all be engaging in. Precious times, good morning. Amanda Aline, good morning. I don't know why y'all always act surprised. Morning, Kizzy. Says busy but listening. Busy doing what? Anywho's. Morning, Delarita. You back on the rock? Yeah. All right, so let me see. Aruna, not all of Canada, okay? We in Vancouver aren't suffering the same fate. It's like spring weather except for the dense fog. All right, okay, understood. It's very cold today. Yeah, Very cold today. It's a lot. I'm getting a lot of very cold today in the U.S. and other parts of Canada. Anyways, we don't have that problem. So yeah, we're going in hot and sweaty this morning. Deep breath. I'm gonna need y'all to lend me your ear, pull up your chair, come close, and listen, because we have to paint the picture. We have to lay out the situation, and then we discuss. All right? The TikTok people, come closer. Okay? So, this person sent in this message, and she says, "Hello, ladies' room. I am broken and in tears. I have been in a relationship for the last 8 years. I love this guy. We did at least 3, not 1, 3 threesomes. I invited them and told him it's okay to invite other females. So they both were instrumental in inviting people into their relationships. It didn't stop there. She says, we went through one breakup like 4 years ago. However, I got a job that was so stressful over the last 2 years. I was bullied and ridiculed a lot, worked extra hours and even Saturday and Sundays. And this led to me breaking down for him every week, which he then asked me to leave the job. But he wasn't working and I needed to provide for my family." Listen to this. He wasn't working and she felt the need to provide for her family. So she stayed. She didn't listen to him. She stayed in the job. After a year and a half of the job, working tirelessly, I lost sex drive, lost sexual attraction to him or anyone else. I felt terrible, so I told him, go out. So, you know what? I'm not in the mood. I'm not feeling this. So I'm giving you permission to go out there and have sex with other people, but don't fall in love. She told him to go out there, and he has her permission to sleep with other people, but don't fall in love. Anyways, so he brought this female, and according to her, the female that he brought into their relationship, she had so much trauma, and she tried helping her. So she brought another female in, and she tried helping. She showed her love, she showed her care, but to her surprise, she says, this guy did things to her he never once did for me. He bought her gifts, attended events with her, weddings with her, went out with her and her friends. So according to her, this last 6 years, he was dead broke and only now recently got a car and is readily available to her. So I told him, watching him do this, do stuff like that, it hurts her. If he can let her go. He said, no, not she as the one writing in to us. She as the other female they brought into their relationship, she is his piece. So although he wasn't working and she held it down, she's not his piece. The other woman that they brought and he's doing more for is his piece. She says, so I went so far to ask her to block him. She said she can't, as he has been there for her over the last couple of months and he did no wrong to her. He only did me wrong and that's not her fault. I stayed with him. I have nowhere to go. I am bunking by a friend now as I left the job last year due to it affecting my relationship. He said I can be in his life only if the girl is there, and I would have to stop complaining about how he treats her, as the 2 years I spent in the job caused a lot on the relationship. He said he loves me, but should I indicate to him I am willing to have him half rather than not have him at all? He can have the girl and the feelings for me would come back eventually. You're understanding what I'm saying? Because jokes aside, she now feels useless and suicidal And she just wants some advice as to how to get over the situation. She's only 25 years old, and she's been with this guy since 18. 25 years now, and she's been with him since... I'm frozen? What's going on here again? Why am I freezing? Scroll out, go out and come back in, guys. On the hold on, let me see. Yeah, I'm frozen for real. Okay, I'm not frozen on my why am I frozen on the Facebook? Hold on, let me see what's happening. Yeah, the internet, I'm freezing. It's frozen. Okay. I'm good now? Someone says I'm good now. It's back now? Okay. All right, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why every morning it's doing the little freeze dance for us. I'm froze. I'm unfroze. All right, so y'all got the gist of the story, right? So basically, she's been with this man since she was 18. She's now 25. They've both had, other women in the relationship. At a point, she wasn't feeling him, wasn't feeling, any sort of, sexual, whatever, desires. So she told him, gave him permission to be with somebody else, just not to fall in love. I don't know how that is possible. But she gave him permission to be with another woman. And now he has, of course, developed feelings for that woman. And he doesn't want to let the other woman go. And he's telling her, in order for her to be with him, she has to share him. And she can't have him to herself. So that is where she's at right now. But am I frozen again? I'm okay now. Looks like I'm frozen again. On the, hold on, let me make sure. Oh no, I'm not. Okay. It's like you have to keep on going out and in, refreshing it or something of the sort. Refresh it. Refresh your pages, guys, on the Facebook. All right, yeah, so I'm good. So let's see if we can unpack this, because I've heard a lot of things in my lifetime, but I swear this is and the thing about it is, it's okay to make fun of it, but when she says she's broken and in tears, and before we even get into the relationship, let me say this. When someone says those words, it means they've been carrying pain for far too long. When someone says those words, that means they've been carrying pain for far too long. She's 25 years old. And she's been with this man since 18. And that means the relationship is not just love, it's formative. It's her adulthood, her first sense of partnership, her idea of her loyalty, her idea of what she deserves. And that matters, that matters. She gave this man 8 years of her life. She compromised. She opened the relationship for him. She invited other women into her space because she wanted to keep peace. She keep love, keep him. So let's pause there for a minute. Brenda Richards asked, did she have a kid for him? No children. And that, at least, thank God for that part, that she doesn't have children or anything. They don't have children together. But let's pause here for a second, right? Because women are often told that being cool, being understanding, and sexually open makes us evolved. But nobody tells us how dangerous it is to override your own discomfort just to avoid abandonment, Nobody tells us that. We always told, you have to be open and willing to do things for your man, to keep your relationship, but nobody tells us how dangerous it is to override your own moral compass, your own discomfort just to avoid abandonment. Nobody tells us those things. So she worked a job. She worked a job that broke her spirit. She was bullied. She was ridiculed. She's overworked. She's exhausted. And while she was fighting to survive, her body shut down sexually. Because a lot of men don't understand that sometimes they think because they're always in the mood, all they need is, their business to be at a certain direction and they're good to go. For us women, it's more of an emotional thing. And sometimes you go through the motions, but you're not in it. So that is why a lot of the times it feels like you're being raped. It's being against your will because you're not in it. You don't have that emotional connection. And when you're stressed, when you're depressed, so everything's going wrong, having sex is the last thing on your mind for a lot of women. On the other hand, other women see it as a way out and it's a means of coping. But other women, you don't want to have no interaction when you're feeling like that, right? So the loss of sex drive is not a moral failure. It is not neglect. It's not punishment. It's often the body saying, I am not safe. I am not okay. Yeah? I'm not safe. I'm not okay. And instead of being held, instead of being protected, she did what so many women do. We blame ourselves. So she said, go have sex. Just don't fall in love. Ladies and men, that sentence alone tells me she was already bleeding. And see, and here's where the story turns cruel, right? The man didn't just sleep with other women, he courted her. And to me, out of everything, that is the most hurtful part of the situation. He didn't just sleep with the other woman, he courted the other woman. Fine girl, right? He neglected her when she needed him the most. He did for her what he never did for the woman who stood by him while he was broke, didn't have a job, while he had no car, while she carried emotional and financial weight. He did none of that for her when he was in his good time. In his bad time, she was there. She stayed in a job that was stressing her, beating her down daily, but in her head, he's not working. I have to provide for the family, so I'm going to grin and bear it. I'm going to stick to it until something else comes along. And imagine doing all that. She could have left and said to him, go find a job. It's your turn to contribute. She took care of him, carried him. And then, after giving him permission to be with another woman, turns around and is doing for the woman what he's... Listen, there are so many takeaways from this. There are so many lessons we can learn. Hey, Shelly, morning. There are so many lessons we can learn from this. Imagine he never bought her a gift, but he bought gifts for the other woman, right? But went out with her, integrated her into his social life. That is not accidental. That is choice. And when she said, watching this hurts me, his response was not empathy. He was like, you know what? Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get how you're feeling. And, I understand why you're feeling the way you're feeling. You know what he turned around and tell her? His response was not empathy. It was an ultimatum. He said, she, the other woman, is my peace. Yo, we go through a lot on a daily basis, in the name of love and relationships. I swear to God, we do. Imagine you doing all that and the person turn around and say to you, you know what? That person is my peace. She's my peace. Ladies, and to the men who are listening, there are also lessons to learn from this. And I hope that you will have your takeaway as well from this. Any man who calls another woman his piece while watching the woman he claims to love fall apart has already made a decision. Any man who calls another woman his piece while watching the woman he claims to love fall apart has already made his decision. Then it gets heavier. Chat alive, please. He tells her, you can stay in my life, but she stays too. And you have to stop complaining. And this is because you chose work. So he's still turning around and blaming her and not taking any accountability or responsibility for where they are. So you're saying to me, as a 25-year-old, that in order to stay in my life, you have to accept the other woman will be here as well. And you have to stop complaining. Who make all you, like, and this is not all men, so let me get, this is not all men, but for men who behave like this, who made y'all though? Like, do you all ever stop and think for a second about how it affects the person on the other end? Like, it's like y'all came from beasts. Like, where is your sense of emotions, your sense of love, your sense of caring? This is emotional manipulation. This is emotional manipulation. This is rewriting history, punishing somebody for surviving. And that is holding love hostage. It is holding love hostage. And the most painful question she asks is this: should I be willing to have him half rather than not have him at all? Ladies, women, mothers, fathers, please teach your daughters and help your daughters to please, their self-confidence, their self-esteem. Because there's no way someone with a high self-esteem would even deal with half of this ish. To have a man come to you and have the testicular fortitude to say to you, you can have me, but you have to accept that I'm having her as well. And you can't complain about it. They always say monkey know what tree to climb. They always say, and so men know who to try and practice those things with. Because who woman with their self-confidence on 100 or their self-esteem on 100 will even listen to a man fix his mouth to say, you can have me, but I'm going to have her as well, and you have to accept her. In order to have me, you have to accept her. Like, what? Like, who? And the mere fact that she's asking, it says a lot about her self-confidence and her self-esteem. The fact that she says, should I be willing to have him, half of him, rather than not have him at all? Boy, sometimes I wish God could say, listen, I'm giving you one wish, and you have to use it on women. It would be to totally transform the way we think, the way we are, and what we accept. And not giving chances to, but the very first sign, yo, I'm out. No second, no third, no fourth, no fifth, no sixth, 7, 8, 9, 10. First sign of you on ish, beat a hasty retreat. You're out. Ladies, that question doesn't come from love, it comes from fear. And of course, everybody fears starting over. People fear change. Fear of being alone, fear of wasted years. Because she did say from since 18, she's now 25, they've been together. The only man she practically known, relationship she's known. But hear me clearly, right? And I want every woman listening to hear this. Half love is not better than no love. It is slower, quieter destruction. You don't heal by shrinking. You don't heal by sharing a man who is actively showing you that your pain is inconvenient to him. You don't. This young lady says she feels useless and suicidal, like she has nowhere to go. And that is exactly why this is not the moment to negotiate love. This is the moment to choose life. It is not the moment to choose to negotiate no love, negotiate nothing. Because no relationship, none, is worth your existence. None whatsoever, especially one that treats you badly. How are you prepared to give up your life and be suicidal for a relationship that's treating you like nothing, like nobody, that is serving no purpose? That the man is saying to you, you have to share me in order to get me. That you have to be okay with it and not complain. And then you turn around and you're blaming yourself. You did not lose him because you worked. You did not lose him because your sex drive changed. You did not lose him because you were you were depressed. That is what the man saying, Debs. The man saying he half of him, half love. So she give him half and the other woman give the other half, so he whole. But what about you? You did not lose him because you worked. You did not lose him because your sex drive changed. You did not lose him because you were depressed. You lost safety because you were with someone who benefited from your sacrifice but did not protect you when it cost you. Instead, he went the other direction and poured into another person while he depleted you. You were left empty, and he's now pouring into another woman. And you are there empty, feeling suicidal. Why are you feeling suicidal over a man that never wasn't working, you had to take care of? You're feeling suicidal over Bill Gates, over somebody, what's the man name in Amazon? Jeff Bezos. How are you feeling suicidal over a broke man that you have to maintain, you have to take care of? What is wrong with our standards? So we ain't have no standards. We just settle in for anything. So I'm going to sit here and be prepared to take my life over a man that can't even buy me a mint, buy me a beer, buy me a drink. And I'm prepared to, we really need a reset. Women, we need a reset. We need a reset. We need a reset. Our standards are way too low. What we are willing to accept is way too low. We're bouncing way too low. We need to up the ante. And if you meet somebody who's not willing to come up and meet you, then so long, farewell. It was nice knowing you. There will be somebody else that's going to be up there with you. How are you prepared to lose your life for somebody who, and I can see, and Jeff Bezos, let me cry in Dubai. Let me cry in a Rolls Royce. Let me cry in some expensive, what's the island over there? Calivini Island. Let me cry, let me wipe my tears with tissue that costs thousands of dollars. You are here crying over something that do nothing for you. Make it make sense. The things that we are willing to settle for. And no, this isn't about money or whatever, but I'm saying, if you want to cry for something, let it be worth your while. But you're crying for nothing. You're prepared to lose your life for nothing and nobody. Rather cry rich than poor. How you cried for somebody that is broke? That you had to maintain, that you had to work, stay in a job that you didn't like, just to keep your family, keep him. How? Like how? Yeah, we need to really start a Big Sisters program, eh? And for those of us who've been through it, we really need to have because watching our younger sisters, younger females going through this, We really need to get serious about some mentoring programs, and we have big brothers, let's have some big sisters. Let us start being there for women so they don't have to go through some of the ish that we went through in the name of love. That ain't love. Healing will not come waiting for his feelings to come back. Healing comes from grief. It comes from distance. It comes from rebuilding your self-worth brick by brick. And if you've never had it, it won't happen overnight. So daily, brick by brick, you build your self-confidence. You build your self-worth. It will hurt. Of course, we all been there, done that. We know it hurts. Hurts like hell. It will feel like withdrawal. It'll feel like you're dying. It will hurt. But you are not dying. You are detaching from a bond that outgrew its capacity to love you well. You're 25. You're not expired. You're not late. You're not behind. Yes, your nervous system is exhausted. Your heart is bruised. Your spirit needs care, not competition. So agreeing to his terms and condition is not going to do anything for your mental. It's not. It's going to break you down further because it is something you don't want to do. You want to be with this man. You want this man for yourself. But he is proposing, in order to be with him, you have to accept him being with somebody else and not complain about it. Literally, suck it up, shut your mouth. Whenever you have time with me, whatever 10 minutes you get with me, enjoy it. And don't say anything. My advice to you is, do not accept half a man to avoid loneliness. Being alone is not a crime. Do not stay where your pain is dismissed, and do not confuse history with destiny because you've been there for a long time. And there are people in relationships now, married and otherwise, thinking, confusing, oh, we've been there for so long, and no, whatever. You can always start over. That's why a clock goes around and around and around. That's why there are many hours in a day and not just 1 hour, 24 hours. So when you mention the suicidal part, that means you need to speak to someone professionally. You're going to need therapy, counseling. I'm not sure what your friends are, what your circle is like, if you have friends that you can speak to about this. But get support before you make permanent decisions about temporary pain. This pain is temporary. Because when some of us look back, you ever been in a relationship and it's done and you're sitting there and you're pining away and then when you finally get over it, you look back and you laugh and you're like, look, imagine I was going through all this for this man. Look at all this stress I put myself through. Don't eat, tabang car, tabang truck. You're there pining away, losing weight, and the man flourishing and looking good and he moving on with his life. You ever look back years later and you're like, you can see who I really, really, really make stress me out. You can see who I really go through stress for. You look back and you're like, if you could raise your leg and kick your own self, you would. Like literally kick yourself hard enough. Or thump yourself in your back. Like, they used to come and cuff you in your back. You ever sit back and say, if you could hit me hard, like I could hit myself hard, like why I lose sleep over this man? Look at who I lose sleep over. That you ever go through that? Like seriously? Listen. Lady who wrote the letter, I don't know your name because it wasn't sent from your real page, but you used another name. You are not useless. You are not replaceable. You are not hard to love. You are hurt, and hurt people need help, not ultimatums. All right? Hurt people need help, not ultimatums. And at the end of the day, and this goes across the board, but since it's a woman that sent this in, I want us to get to a place where we understand sometimes as women, the bravest thing we can do is let go. Let go. You know that song, Let Go and Let God? The bravest thing we can do sometimes for our own selves is let go. Not because we don't love them, but because we finally love ourselves enough to live. You're not supposed to love anybody more than yourself. And too many times, that is the situation. We love the other person. When somebody says, you know what, I'm ready to leave, you're breaking down in tears, you're at their feet, holding on to them, begging them, please don't leave, please don't leave. I will do this, I will do that. Whatever you say to do, I will do it. I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to give you my whole paycheck at the end of the month. And, you know, you make all this sort of... Why? Somebody's prepared to leave, let them leave. You shouldn't have to beg anybody to stay with you. If they wanted to stay in the first place, they wouldn't make any moves to leave. If they want to leave, open the door, escort them out. I wish you well. So long, farewell. The bravest thing we can do, women, ladies, is let go. Like I said, not because you don't love the person, because love don't die overnight. Take some time, but eventually you will be free. The bravest thing we can do is let go, not because we don't love them, but because we finally love ourselves more. We love ourselves enough to live. And if you find yourself in a situation where you're giving ultimatums, or you have to do this to be with me, or you have to accept this and it's against your moral compass, it makes you uncomfortable, don't do it. There shouldn't be no ultimatums to being with somebody. Oh, in order for you to do this, you have to accept that, and you can't complain and you can't do that. Then it's clear as day, this person is not your person. So let them go. I don't know why we continue to hold on to things that no longer serves us, whether it's emotionally, mentally, financially, psychologically, whateverly. It serves us in no way, shape, or form, but yet we continue to hold on. I don't understand that. So for those of you who are older sisters, continue to talk to your younger sisters, to your cousins, to your whatever female that you know of. Because we can't continue to have women settling for less than they deserve. And that is the case too many times. Nisha says, 23 years together, 18 years married, and I chose me. I walked away. Yep. It could be together for 50 years. Once you get to a point where it's okay to go your way peacefully. Jason, thank you. It's okay to go your way peacefully. Don't let anybody guilt you into staying in a relationship or situation where it no longer serves you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Keep it pushing. Yeah? The guys in the gray van, good morning. Say, man, this topic is one that have us talking here. Firstly, we realize that this is a problem that exists among many of our women in this period of Earth's history. We realize this feeling of lack of sex happens to women for many different reasons, and we sympathize with the women that feel that way genuinely. We pray for them and we hope that they find the necessary help to deal with this situation, because it's a real situation We sympathize with the women that feel that way genuinely. We pray for them and we hope that they find the necessary help to deal with the situation, because it's a real one. On the other hand, there are some women that just refuse after a time to give men sex. They start off the relationship with lots of sex and for no just reason. But you can't say for no just reason, because like I said, women and men, we are not programmed the same. And a lot of the times, men think it's no reason, it's for no reason. Women don't just stop having sex for no reason. You may not be aware of the reason, but there's always a reason. It's either you're going through something, and especially women, we go through a lot. Depending on your age, you have to take perimenopause and menopause into consideration, and sex drive dropping is one of the things that comes with perimenopause. So there's a lot of factors you have to put into this whole equation of women no longer, we might start off having a lot of sex, and then it bubbles down. Women and men are not wired the same. Men don't need no sort of emotional connection to have sex. Once you get an erection, that's it for y'all. Women, on the other hand, your mental have to be okay. You have to be in it. You everything have to line up. Some will just do it to get you off their back because they don't want to hear you complaining and nagging. So they'll just do it, but they're not in it. So it's different. It's different. The way men and women see sex, it's different. So we can't say that women withhold sex for no good reason. There's no way under the sun a woman will just stop having sex with a man for no reason. It may not be a good reason for you. To you, it might be petty, it might be insignificant. But for the woman, it's not. So we have to be more understanding and be willing to open up about things that are affecting us, and that way you're able to have a conversation about it as partners. Yeah? Good to see that you said we realize this feeling of lack of sex happens to women for many different reasons. So there are reasons. We sympathize with the women that feel that way genuinely. We pray for them and we hope they find the necessary help. Yeah? They say that women create a sexual appetite in a man and then cannot continue. The fact of the matter is, whatever reason she gave that permission also places the man in a position that is very difficult for any man, or in fact any person, to do at the surface, which is not to fall in love with. The peace could be in love and affection, not necessarily money. We recommend that she get professional help and find some other support system that can work her through the situation. She needs to be brought to the point where she can see how dangerous that is on her mental health. The fact remains that if she agrees to a half situation, that will not satisfy her mental health and improve her life in the long run. We believe that the first thing that should be happening was that they both do counseling together, sexual or otherwise. Her recommendation opens a can of worms that created a situation that they both have to take levels of responsibility for. We don't want her to lose her life. She needs to see that life is not just about a man. God will provide. Thank you so much, guys in the gray van. They always label themselves as guys in the gray van. Thank you. Appreciate you guys chiming in. Someone says the young lady needs some therapy to rebuild herself or confidence. Totally agree. Yeah? So we've come to the end of the program for today, guys. So all of you tuned in, thank you so very much. On my folks on YouTube, on Facebook, and of course on TikTok, everyone in the chat for following along. Thank you so very much for being here today. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow for another ladies' room. And again, before I leave, want to remind women, sometimes the bravest thing we do is let go, not because we don't love the person, but because we finally love ourselves enough to live, all right? And to choose you. At the end of the day, you're all you've got, so choose you first. Have a good one, guys. Thank you so much for powering up. I'll see y'all tomorrow, same time, all right?